So we are October the 9th and doing a little bit of a cattle move here. I have just given them one square bale of hay this morning. They should have been moved yesterday. I had them on the lower side of the field that they're in now, and I opened up the gap to let them up to this near fence, but they're not a bit happy. I kind of tightened them yesterday. I was busy yesterday and I should have moved them up this hill, and I didn't, and they're giving out to me. So I have my little paddock half made behind me. I'm going to go through a watery gap. It's kind of a running drain behind me, so I'm going to have to run up this hill before they get ahead of me, because I'm not fully fenced, but I have it mostly fenced. They kind of know where they're going at this stage. But yeah, so it should have been done yesterday, as I say. But besides all that, we have a kind of a mini heat wave. This is day 3 of the lovely warm weather. We can see that there is a bit of picking coming all the time. The grass is growing. Let me see these now. What are these? The grass is growing and we have our mushrooms coming up. So the moisture is definitely still in the ground, lots of it. Only 3 days of a bit of heat. Met Aaron tends to get a bit excited when these things happen. It's going to cool down now the rest of the week. So I'm going to gather up all them fences that you see here, and yeah, so I took my eye off the ball yesterday is basically what I'm saying. And they're very vocal about it. Yeah, so I'll do this now. Some kind of precarious way, just to get myself on the move. Still roaring. Now we have in front Belty Moore. She's going to make the hill. If I let her go ahead of me, she'll probably still go the right direction. But just in case, because if she takes a left turn, she could end up in Rome. Well, it's good that they're moving without lead cow these days. Apologies for the shaky cam. Now they're settled again now that I'm in front. I'm what they call the pacemaker. Now, if I scoot across here in this watery gap, some people get excited about that, but if I threw gravel in it, I'd have to pipe it, I'd have to do everything to it. For 6 days walking. Now, where are we, girls? So this is the nice grass they're coming in onto. It's had about 2 months rest. You'll notice that there's a couple of short places in it. That's because the calves tend to make their own way up and go for the fresh picking ahead of the cows. So they're actually very relaxed. I thought they'd be buck-lepping mad, but they're not. And they're not empty looking either. Keep moving, girl. So they had their square of hay below, but that wouldn't fill them. Come on, Bully. Keep her moving. You're full. Now, this fella was on the wrong side of the fence this morning. He tends to do that lately. He's not a bit hungry. Come on, keep going. Go on. Now the calves are coming in. I have to laugh how this fella stops, looks around, observes the situation, and then takes a few more steps forward. A very observant bull. Calves are never hungry. As I say, they get access to the rest of the place under the wire. And you can see now they're starting to put on their winter coat, which is great. There's a nice hairy calf there. And then Bell behind them, full of hair. So this is a lovely dry place. As you can see, lovely blue skies, but this is a lovely dry place. So what I'm going to do is here now, I'm going to get a bale of silage and stop them up and take advantage of the good weather. The sunny side of the hill, or south facing here. I'm going to feed them a bale of silage here because I actually want to open up the silage and see what it looks like, because I haven't opened any of the bales yet. I've been feeding them hay on the lower side where it's hard to get into, but now that I can get access into this high side, I want to bring in the heavy stuff and feed it to them. So they'll have grass today, silage and grass tomorrow, silage the day after that. So that's 1, 2, 3 days. I'm going to try and get an extra day out of this hillside, and it's downhill after that. So we will probably speed up a little bit down below, and as we come back up the far side of that hedge, slow them down as they come up the hill as the conditions improve. So ground conditions and access are my governing factors. So as I say, we're the 9th of October. I'm on winter feed mode, even though we're still autumn. But October, November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months of this. But we have lots of grass. Even them nettles now, they're going to eat them now as well. The sting has gone out of them. There's great nutrients left in them nettles now, so they will be grazed off. I never topped this place in a couple of years. The rushes that are in here are a bit old and coarse. I'm not going to touch them, but I'll throw my silage up on top and they can lie on them and sleep on them. So straight away we can see that one of our calves has gone through the wire. Well, there's no power in the fence, you see, and they kind of know that. Them young bucks. So yeah, I am going to pull in my drinker, finish off my bit of fencing. There's no wire at the far side of that hedge just yet. I'm going to put it in now, and I'll get all them bits of jobs done, clean up the wire below where they were, and I'll be back. Nearly finished gathering up the wire and my fencing, and I'll just show you a little scan of our priority paddock. This was the experimental field, and I'm going to go and get my super soil now and spray up all of this land. There's lovely sweet picking coming already, but we want more. I know it's a lovely day today, blue skies and over 20 degrees, but as I say, it's not going to last, and winter is coming very fast. Here's a little thing I did. I have my mineral licks out. This is pre and post calving licks, just to show you actually quick how wet this place is. This place is extremely wet land, but as I say, they're only on this for the 24 hours. I did have a fence where I was just beyond that licks there, and I divided it up into days, but I gave them the whole area then in the latter end, and I was meant to move them yesterday, but I never did. And sometimes when you don't do things that you want to do, it turns out to be grand, or even better. So that's what's left of the square bale I gave them. They saw me fencing up the hill, so they were anxious to follow me up. But they have a well ate off here now, to be honest. And them rushes are super young. Haven't been topped twice this year, I think. At least twice. But here's the thing, this little patch is literally infested with rushes. There's not a blade of grass growing in there. And what's good about these licks, or drinkers too, you can use as the same tool, is to leave the mineral licks, whatever attracts the cattle to a certain area, leave them into problem areas in your little cells, and they will batter the living daylights out of whatever you want battered. So that area there, I don't know what it is, but no grass tends to grow in it, only rushes. So I left that mineral there, and you can see what they did. So it's amazing really. So there is loads of rushes, and literally beside it is no rushes and lots of grass. It's amazing the difference you can have in literally 5 or 6 yards away from each other. So as I say, I'm going to get my super soil, and I'm going to spray out all of this. I'm back to the heat again, but towards the end of the week I'm going to do it. when that heat is gone. I'll do it on a damp day. The trick is, I believe, is to use, you can't use tap water anyhow for a fact, because it has fluoride, chlorine, all them chemicals which will kill all the microbes off. So river water or rainwater is ideal, and do it in the damp, dewy morning. Well, not morning, evening actually better, because it has all night then to do its thing. The microbes are light sensitive, heat sensitive, and chemical sensitive. So we want to do it with river, rain, water in the cool of the evening. With a bit of drizzle on your back would be the best, or a heavy dew would be ideal. And then to leave it overnight, and then the next day then it would have multiplied. As I say, it multiplies, doubles by the hour. That's what I'm told anyhow. So we're going to get that super soil out on this land and see can we grow some stockpile grass, because as it looks now on the 9th of October, you would not expect to have anything on this for the winter time, but there'll be one more grazing on this, I think, before the Christmas, thereabouts. And I'll feed them some hay, because it's a kind of a lower place that it's difficult to get into with heavy silage. So it'll be hay that are being fed on this wet place. So I will go back up to the cattle now. Back up at the cattle, I have all the little jobs done. I have my minerals in, I have the fence on, I have the drinker hooked up, and I have all the fence tidied up below. So I can now retire for the evening or for the afternoon to get other jobs done. So that is the situation on the 9th of October. As I say, a little recap, I'm going to graze this off tight and give them a little bit of silage to try and stretch out my rotation, as I want to try and increase it to 90 days. 2 90s is 180, 180 is 1 winter. So taking advantage of this lovely weather and the fact that the cattle are now content, haven't been roaring at me when I arrived. So I will say for now, good luck and goodbye.